As souls, we come to Earth to learn a lot of lessons, but let me tell you about one that might not even be on your radar. And if it's not a direct lesson for you in this lifetime, you've probably either overcome it or it will be. But first, I'm going to start with a past life story, and it leads right into this lesson. Recently, I was working with a male client, and before we talked to his higher self, we looked at a past life where he said he was affiliated with the military, and it seemed to be around the 1800s. When we came on the scene, he described himself as being someone with some authority in the military, and he said he had a feeling that there was going to be an upheaval or a rising up of the people very soon. And reading my notes from my screen, this is what he said. He said, I support the people, but the people are against me because I'm part of the kingdom. I'm part of that regiment, so I'm concerned about me inflicting the will of the ruling class, which, again, I'm part of, but I'm not aligned with what the ruling class wants to do. I asked him if he felt internally conflicted, and he said, I don't like it. It's intellectually confusing and something I'm trying to figure out how to implement support for the movement without creating conflict and war. So there's a balance I'm trying to do with the people's intent and the power objective, which, of course, they are not the same. I asked him if it felt like the conflict was right around the corner, and he said, yes, there's planning, quiet meetings, people talking, but doing it in a clandestine, quiet way because they don't want to be stopped or punished for participating. There's a lot of respect for the punishment side of the authority. They will do everything in their power to not expose their plans. Then we took a quick peek at his house, and it was quite the estate. And you could tell he actually had some authority and power and some money. He said that his estate felt very safe. He literally felt invincible in this place. He said it's protected and he feels safe. I asked him if he felt like he was a good person in this life, and this is what he said. He said, I'm a good person in that life, conflicted with what to do and how to balance the sometimes irrational asks of the kingdom with the people. I am in absolute conflict emotionally and mentally. My heart is with the movement, the people, the upswelling, but my loyalty and my position is with the crown or the leaders. And again, it's a fine line to walk. I took him forward in time, and this is where he saw the upheaval. He said, the people are rising up and taking over the crown. The location and property, it does include me because I'm part of it. He said, I can't be on the uprising because I'm part of the authority. So that is a huge, dramatic day, a revolutionary day, but not fueled by me. I'm more in the path of it. And even though I have compassion and care, I don't feel like I'm killed. I'm just pushed aside and ostracized. I'm from the old regime. They don't have anger towards me, and I've just been pushed aside and I lose my position. I asked him what happened to him, and he said, I'm not in my house anymore. It's gone. I feel like I'm in the mountains, having fires and living in teepees or abodes that are kind of back and away from the city. I don't know that I'm hiding, but I'm not welcome to go back. My family is with me and they're not invited back either or respected anymore. I'm not sure what happened to my house. It would be hard to burn it because it's built of rock and stone, but I don't possess it and I'm not in it. I had to run away. I asked him how he was feeling now, and he said, I'm mentally good because there's no more uprising and no more daily quandary of where I should stand. It's all been established. So I'm more comfortable spiritually and intellectually. I'm in a happier place. It's more reserved. There's not much there for me, but I really don't need a lot of stuff. I'm in cloth clothing. I don't have a sword anymore. And I'm just living off of the land. I asked him, are you okay with that? And he said, I am. I'm at peace. It was the right thing to do. This video goes along with the last one that I posted where this gentleman actually met and spoke with Jesus in between lives. So I led him through the death scene, and here he is talking to Jesus. And I want to reiterate something that was said during this in-between life stage when they talked about this life that he just lived. I asked him if he had any insights now that he's out of that body and in the spirit realm of things he maybe wish he would have done differently in that life. He said, I guess I wish I would have trusted my truths more than the noise outside, and I wish I had followed my heart and path regardless of consequence. I understand why I didn't, because consequences were profound: loss of status, resources, possibly loss of life, although I don't think that was a threat. I wish I had followed my instincts and my heart. But the fear of other people's judgments and consequences made it challenging. And that's why I was living in a dilemma of what was wrong and right, and why I did what I did for my own self preservation. Even though I was softer than most people in my position, I was still dominant and still exercising control when people really didn't need it. He said it was about a moral quandary, about right and wrong, and how to express that self and how to make decisions, and feeling both sides of the consequences of those decisions. He said I was put in a position where I had to decide whether to follow direction of leadership or follow my heart and my desires. So this brings me right back around to where I started in this video, talking about a lesson that if you haven't faced it yet, you will at some point in your soul journey. And that is the lesson of listening to either your heart, your intuition, or listening to outside voices and outside pressures. And when he was talking to Jesus in that in-between life stage, he was told that he would repeat his lessons again and again and again, millions of times if he needed to, until he got it perfect. When I asked him, what does perfect look like? This is what he said. He said, perfect is being 100% aligned with your spirit and with your intuition, with your goals, regardless of any real world or 3D world reaction. So if there's a firing squad in front of you, you say your truth and you hold it, regardless of the impact to you. You're going to be homeless. They'll take everything you have. Stay true to yourself and don't worry about earthly consequences. That is perfection. And it's very hard to reach, especially when you're in a body with physical results, physical and emotional things that seem bigger than your soul. They seem bigger in consequence to you than your soul does. He went on to say, I have deferred many times to that to protect myself, even though I'm violating my soul or going against what my clear direction is from my soul. I know we have all had times when we've heard a voice in our head or had a gut feeling, heard from our intuition telling us to do one thing, but then we deferred to outside pressure to do something else. And I'm not saying one side is better than any other, but we had a recent example of this, of what happened in 2020. Some people's intuition told them not to do something, but they did it anyway. They deferred to outside pressure despite their intuition telling them not to. And other people's intuition told them to go ahead and do it. But I'm talking specifically about people whose intuition told them not to, and they did it anyway. But it could literally be with any situation. Hearing your intuition, that voice inside you telling you not to do something, but yet you do it. You succumb to the pressure. It's like big adult size peer pressure. It's wanting to fit in. It's not wanting to be judged. It's not wanting to be separated or excluded. Or it could be thinking that you'll be safe if you succumb to outside pressure, and that you'll be unsafe somehow by listening to your intuition. It's that line in the sand. How firmly do you put that line in the sand and keep it? If it's something your intuition is telling you to do you stand by that line in the sand? So what are some instances in your life that you maybe heard your intuition in any situation telling you what to do and you went against it? Hindsight is always 2020, which is a good thing, because then we can reflect on it and learn from it and hopefully do different the next time. And like I said, if this isn't one of your major lessons in this lifetime, maybe you've either accomplished it already or it definitely will be.